Hi everybody. Today we're talking about Urusei Yatsura Volume 2 or Volume 1 Part 2. Yeah, it's separated into parts. How do you make things two parts? Well, there's a whole lot of content that is not addressed in the second part. But we are going to address a little bit of some of the things that I have noted from reading the second part and the first part. We get this picture from the first part of of her talking about, the author talking about drawing her again and how it reflects her and how, who is absolutely direct and uninhibited, which is something that apparently she isn't. I talked about this last time, but I thought that was interesting. If you can read that yourself, which I thought it was pretty cool. So this is part 2. Let's talk about it. That's just Minute Maid vodka. It's pretty good. But, Chapter 10, Ayuki. Now, if anyone knows, technically this girl in the back, on the left, is based on the classic story of the Snow Lady, who, married a guy and then was, figured out by someone because he blurted it out, told on himself, and was like, and she was like, have fun taking care of my 10 kids. Yeah, you ruined it. Which that brings up many other questions, like how do you have 10 kids? I mean, I guess they just fell out at that point, but seriously, what in God's name? But, it's an interesting story. There's another dimension in a closet. And apparently even idiots get sick, according to this story. Also, I like how Lum's pants, they're kind of ridiculous. I don't even know what's going on here. Now, that one was the introduction to Ayuki, who is going to be a character who is going to come back a lot. This is Eros. Now, Eros is an interesting one. We have a reference to Mothra and Godzilla's Mothra, which, if you have never seen Mothra, you aren't missing much. It's a fun movie. I think it has some fun, weird aspects to it, but I wouldn't call it, a film that is worth seeing unless you have, a total week of nothing happening. It is great for that. But, yeah, it was an interesting one. He finds an egg and it, grows from his imagination or his energy or whatever, and it creates a whole world and universe in the back of in just the school area. It's quite ridiculous. Intention. What is intention? Okay, intention is about, basically, Lum and Ataru go on a journey by accident to get to school early because he keeps being late. But then they go into a warp pipe long before Mario Brothers, by the way. So you have a warp pipe situation, and honestly, it's kind of funny. He meets his younger young child, his child, Haru's child, and afterwards he becomes worried that he marries some ugly lady, but apparently it's Shinobu, which is a weird headcanon because we always think Lum is the one girl for him, but really it possibly isn't. Chapter 13, Puppet. Puppet's a hilarious one, and it was one of the first that gets adapted into the manga, from the manga, and to be honest, it's more funny in the anime than in the manga. I think the manga is good too. One of the highlights, well, I mean, they're science fiction dolls, but they are have some mythological things, but basically it messes with people. And one of them, he's one of my favorites. Let me see if I could find it. He goes and he's Shinobu's getting a bath. One of the characters getting a bath. And then she's she's hiding her hair, how sneaky. Because Lum wants to mess with her. And then afterwards, he's no more making dolls and messing with people. It was your idea, darling. It's no good. Well, they keep figuring out slowly over the course of this. And then afterwards, it leads to one of my favorite moments. What's this, a doll? And then, the salesman guy messes around with it. And then he runs into the window. At least it is seen Ataru! What is it, Shinobu? What? A peeping Tom? And he's flying around? Going, darling? The dad comes out and he's like, "Be careful, dear grass, sneaky back. Did you see the pervert's face, Shinobu? She's crying." He's like, "You seem upset, darling. My life is over. This doll has an inauspicious aura. Shall we burn it, kitty?" Holy crap! Like, holy crap! Woo! Woo! Still waters run deep. Okay, this one's funny. It's the, yeah, like what the picture says, it's the Taro story. Ushirama Taro, I forget how you say his name. But the guy goes down, has like a good old time in the water with the princess lady, and then afterwards gets a gift. He's told not to open it, and then he does, and he's an old guy. But instead, he comes back and it's targeting his butt whooped from going down to a kingdom of turtle people. Oh, instead, basically. This was okay. I like the mermaid bit where he gets a mermaid as a gift and then everyone's like beating the crap out of him. Also, some characters, I'm going to say, get like a slim down. Let me see if I can find it. Like this character here, I think that's supposed to be Perm. He is he lost weight in the anime. Like he is like weighs way less in there. It's very opposite. And afterwards, we get to the next... So let's talk about the next chapter. The Yellow Ribbon of Happiness. Now, the Yellow Ribbon of Happiness is another one that is kind of a very funny one, too. What is this one about? One of the things is that Ataru is very much, like, tired of Lum attacking him. So he basically gets ribbons to make her stop doing it from Cherry. Well, Cherry, like, afterwards taking the ribbons, he never throws the box away or throws it or burns any of the evidence. So eventually she finds out and is really mad at him. I do think Lum looks cute with the ribbons on, but it is a very interesting idea. Chapter 16. Technically, this is a two-parter, but Chapter 16 introduces us to the Princess Kuroma, the goblin crow princess. She is basically trying to make him a gentleman, but it all fails and blows up in her face. 2 times she's tried to do it. And the first time, and then in the end, he ends up turning him into a lesbian, giving him a feminine side to him. Just, it overtakes him. It's pretty funny. Wait, I'm confused. Does that make him a lesbian? You moron, how did you find such an extreme specimen? I've had it. Chapter 17, Obsession is a Part of Love. I'm pretty sure it's the second part of her trying to get him to be like a good boyfriend. I can't even remember a lot of the stuff that has happened, kind of. Let me think. Oh, I love this fact. Her hat being like the stripes, too. Like her mystery hat. Leading to us getting to the end. Oh, wait, yeah. He gets into like a dimension where he's like... all the girls he likes are basically putting him up on trial for all his weirdness. But then he's like, "Oh, I'm back. I guess I like them now." And a couple other things I'm gonna point out. They talk about how Sakura. I've talked about her a couple times, but in the previous one we basically get a rundown of her and how basically she's very rich, and I've never really thought about it. Yeah, I like her. Yeah, she's a very voluptuous woman. But in general, she like mooches off foods, very similar to her used car salesman uncle. I keep calling him that, but he's a priest. But I feel like he is kind of like a used car salesman. But yeah, they talk about that. They talk about extras like him having snacks, like Ataru, like, and all the snack totaling up, and like how the occasional times he had to give food to people. It's actually pretty interesting. And this was my review of Volume 1. Tune in probably tomorrow for Volume 2.